News Review from BBC Learning English.
Hello and welcome to News Review, the program where we show you how to use the language from the latest news stories in your everyday English. I'm Dan, and joining me today is Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Dan.
So what's the story about?
Today's story, Dan, is about a gift from Mother Nature.
Ooh, I love gifts. Okay, well, let's hear more from this BBC World Service report.
US and British scientists have created a plastic digesting enzyme that can help in the fight against plastic pollution. They've made an improved version of a natural enzyme that's evolved the ability to feed on plastic. Tests showed that the new engineered protein could break down one of the most popular forms of plastic, widely used by the food and drinks industry.
So, plastic pollution is a massive problem around the world. Everybody's talking about it at the moment. There's potentially some good news that British and American scientists may have found a solution to pollution from some types of plastic. They discovered an enzyme on a Japanese recycling site. They've done some work on it in the lab, and they believe that they could make this enzyme break down some very common plastics, so that instead of taking hundreds of years to break down completely, that process can be considerably speeded up by this enzyme. So potentially a really big impact on plastic pollution.
Sounds fantastic. Well, we've got 3 words and expressions that you can use to talk about this story. What have we got for them, Catherine?
We have inadvertently, devour, and usher in.
Inadvertently, devour, and usher in. Okay, let's have a look at our first headline then, please.
Okay, we have the Daily Beast. The headline is Scientists Inadvertently Create Mutant Plastic-Eating Enzyme.
Inadvertently, unintentionally. Where does that word come from?
Okay, it comes originally from Latin. The Latin word advertere means pay attention to. But for this word, we have the prefix in, which gives it an opposite meaning. So it means without paying attention to. We add ly at the end to make it into an adverb form. So without paying attention to.
Oh, like our colleague Key, who took the keys to the camera cupboard home in his pocket last night inadvertently.
He didn't know he had them.
Nope.
We didn't know he had them. We're looking for the camera cupboard key today. Everybody was panicking and looking in everywhere they could. Key came in. We said, "Have you seen the keys, Key?" He looked at his pockets. Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody.
And there they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Accidentally or
Okay.
without realizing, inadvertently.
So because it's inadvertently, that means without paying attention. Does that mean that paying attention is advertently?
Dan, wouldn't it be good if that were true?
Oh, have I inadvertently made a mistake?
Unfortunately, you have. So, yeah, the opposite of inadvertently isn't advertently. It is something like knowingly, deliberately, or purposely, when you do something and you're aware that you did it.
I see. Well, before we inadvertently bore our listeners talking too much about this, let's move on to our second headline.
Okay, so let's look at New Atlas. The headline is, Can this plastic-eating enzyme devour our pet pollution problem?
Devour. Eat eagerly.
Yes, eat eagerly. So, again from Latin, if you eat something really fast, you eat a lot of it, you eat it almost like an animal, an animal in it which has found some food and wants to eat all of it as quickly as possible to make nobody else can eat this food.
Like Rob with biscuits.
Like Rob with biscuits.
Or
yes.
admittedly me with pizza,
Can't get near you, you're not going to share. It's all going down really, really quickly.
That's right.
Yeah, yes. Eat quickly and very, very eagerly.
But I've heard the phrase, the building was devoured by fire. How does that work?
So devour is originally, and its first meaning is to do with eating food, but anything that gets kind of consumed or used or destroyed quickly and totally, we can use this word devour. So if you like to read a lot of books, for example, you can say, I devour 3 novels a week. Or if your mobile phone uses a lot of data, you can say my phone devours data. So it's using or destroying anything quickly.
Okay, and it's kind of idiomatic in that way.
Exactly, yes.
Well, let's hope that our listeners have devoured that information, and we'll move on to our third and final headline.
Great. So, ITV News, the headline is New Plastic Eating Protein Could Usher in Recycling Revolution.
Usher in, cause an activity or process to start.
Yes.
Is this anything to do with the artist, Usher, the singer?
Nothing whatsoever, as far as I'm aware. It's just I think a coincidence that he's got the same name, unless he has a job in a cinema showing people where they're supposed to sit. So if you go to the cinema or the theatre, it's really dark. There's often a person there with a torch, flashlight, who will show you where your seat is. So the idea of showing a direction or kind of helping something to happen in a particular way. We also use usher as a job at a wedding. The person that shows people where they're going to sit is called an usher.
And it's strongly connected with periods of time, isn't it? Or sort of things that have a profound change.
Right. So this idea of change and movement and showing direction and things that are going to happen, if something ushers something in, it marks a period of great change. It's the start of a big change. So we could say that the invention of the World Wide Web ushered in the digital revolution. This thing was the first thing that happened, the World Wide Web, and now everything is different. So what they're saying about this, the headline is saying that this new plastic-eating protein could signal the start of the recycling revolution. This one thing happens, after that, everything is going to be different.
Wonderful. Thank you for clearing that up. Now, let's usher in our own Facebook challenge. This morning, we posted on Facebook, scientists have created a protein that can break down plastic. Break down is a verb with many meanings. Which of the following is not a meaning of breakdown? A, stop working or functioning. B, lose control of one's feelings. C, suddenly begin something. Or D, separate into component parts. How did they do, Catherine?
You didn't really catch many people out, I'm pleased to say, Dan.
I never do.
So we've got a pretty much clean sweep here. Almost everybody said C. C doesn't mean breakdown. So well done to Nisreen Abdullah, Riza Velasco Ebreo, everybody else who got that right, including Kaori Kaneko Tanaka, who said C is incorrect. Then what's the right phrasal verb for C, Dan? Suddenly begin something.
Well, that would be, in many contexts, we can use the phrasal verb break into. For example, they suddenly broke into song.
Here we go.
2, 3, 4.
Da-da-da-da-da.
There you go. Thank you very much for clearing that up. Now, could you please recap the vocabulary?
Of course. We had inadvertently, unintentionally, devour, eat eagerly, and usher in, cause an activity or process to start.
Thank you. Now, if you'd like to test yourself on today's vocabulary, there is a quiz that you can take on our website, bbclearningenglish.com. There's also stacks of videos, amazing vocabulary exercises, and all sorts of really good stuff that we work hard to provide you with so you can learn English. So make sure that you check it out. Thank you very much for joining us, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
News review from BBC Learning English.